Hi Aries, it's Jenny here with your tarot horoscope for March, coming right up. So some of you are going to have some birthdays at the end of the month, so a happy early birthday to some of you. So I'm just going to be, there, that one looks like it's coming out. So I've got a card for you for March. The beginning of March, or the first 2/3 of March, is going to be the remainder of Pisces season, and then we'll be coming into Aries for you. So let's see what card we've got for you for March. Great, we've got the sun for you. This is a great card for you. So here we have the sun, and we have this sort of figure, almost looks like a statue or a man here, and he's looking away. He's got this kind of red sash on him, and down here we have this lion, but he's pretty dark, and then we have these two little kind of cherubs in the sky there. So this is the sun, and I'm just gonna see what the sun has to say for you today. Okay. The sun. Enlightenment. The lion is a typical sun symbol, while the Greco-Roman Apollo appears here as the god of light. Yet the card is rendered in darker tones. Most versions of this card depict twins, mostly shown as children, which discreetly hints at the second birth. The second birth is a metaphor, which means that you, as an adult, have to be reborn, and moreover, give birth to yourself this time around. Your first birth brought you into this world. Your second birth is nothing less than deliberately choosing your own life's path, no longer restricted by habitual behavior and fixed routines, but informed by free choice and by exercising your own free will. Traditional behavior and thought patterns are replaced by a consciously chosen lifestyle. The second birth may be followed by a third, a fourth birth, and more in a progressive path of renewal. But the second birth is decisive, as the first one to be undertaken deliberately. This theme is common to the Buddhist goal of enlightenment, or the Christian maxim, if you do not become like the little children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. This second birth is possible only as the result of a process of becoming. As long as you are lacking a true understanding of yourself, you will remain in an in-between period, in a period of being on the road. The subdued colors of the picture are in keeping with the tribulations on the way to the sun, the very center of yourself. This card is about finding your way towards the sun, which is located at the heart of the matter. Practical advice. Be aware of all delusions. Surrender to the stream of life energy within and without yourself. Love God and do what you want to do. Okay, this is a great card for you in general, Aries, and for this period of March. So March, as I said, the first 2/3 of March is the end of Pisces season, which really is the end, the final season in the zodiac is Pisces, and so it's wrapping up the end of this energetic new year, and then once we hit the March equinox, in the beginning of Aries season, that is the beginning of the new energetic year, with Aries being the first sign in the zodiac. So this period, March, is this like wrapping up and almost kind of New Year's vibe, like end of the year, and then this birthing into a new season. So that is already like this theme of birth and new birth and renewal is really potent for the season. And then for you in particular, Aries, being the start of the energetic year and the first sign of the zodiac, some of you have your birthdays coming up at the end of March here, this sign already, like the sun card, feels like a very Aries sort of symbol in a lot of ways, because it is talking about this birthing and this becoming, which kind of does double duty for you, both seasonally and for your, like this card feels like this would work really well seasonally for everybody this month, but for you in particular, it's kind of like an extra punch, that not only will you get to be coming into your birth season and your solar return, but that like you can use that, like, so for those of you, whether you're used to astrology terms or not, your birthday is called your solar return, because the sun is returning to the place it was when you were born. So already birthdays are very tied to the sun, and so bringing out this sun card for you right in time for your birthday just really quite works as well. So we can kind of work with multiple energies of the sun in its solar path and the sun in the tarot card. So altogether, I'm quite pleased with how this is working out, but we're going to dive in a little bit more now. So I think that this, I'm going to start actually right at the end of this card where it talked about beware of delusions, specifically because Pisces season is the season of dreams and illusions and not being so tied to what is tangible and real and fact-based in the universe, but being tied, but also like immersing yourself in the things that are more imaginal and the realms of fantasy. And fantasy and dreams, they don't have the same truth value of facts, but that doesn't mean that they're not real. Like, it doesn't mean that our fantasies and our dreams aren't a part of our experience and the part of the cosmos, that they're in there, even if that doesn't mean that they're kind of have the same like tangible like fact-based reality that we live in most of the time. They're still a part of our existence. So they are still, there is a part of a realness to do with dreams. But so Pisces season is really wonderful for this time of dreaming about what's possible at the end of this zodiacal year. But one of the downsides of Pisces season is you can be so swooped up in the dreams that it becomes delusional. So you can kind of lose touch with like go too far in the realm of what isn't and what could be if you really detach yourself, that you're so disconnected from what actually is still here. Like the tension of Pisces and the opportunity of this part of March still is to get to play with the fact that we aren't just in the real world of what's physically here, and we aren't just in this potential swirl of what could happen. We are this conduit of both. We are beings in bodies really here physically, but we have a consciousness and a mind that can dream and connect to all things that are possible, and we get to live that tension in that conduit. So what we don't want is to pull one way too far to either end, and in Pisces season the risk is, oh, we can go too far off into the clouds. So the fact that this card is saying, like, beware of that. We don't want to be deluded, but there is still, that doesn't mean that but you don't want to delude yourself either way. Beware of delusions in terms of falling, like getting trapped up in fantasy and illusion, but you also want to delude yourself. You don't want to delude yourself into thinking that only what is physically, tangibly, like provably here is the sum total of what is happening in the cosmos. You don't want to delude yourself into thinking that like dreams are useless, and deluding yourself into thinking that there's only the here and the practical and the now, and that anything potential is just, that is also a delusion. That's being too grounded without having any sort of connection to the cosmos. So in any case, there's this warning of, for this beginning of March in particular, there might be some kind of things coming at you that like kind of obscure things, in particular right at the end of this year before coming into your season of Aries. Things might feel like it's just really foggy right now. Like this beginning of March just feels like, I just wish this fog would burn off. Like I want to get to the part where I feel clear. I want to get to Aries season where like things are like this fiery again, and that's where you really thrive. Pisces is a water sign, so all this water energy at the beginning of March might feel like kind of like, ugh, I just want to get it out of me, and I want to get to something really exciting. But you don't want to rush through this first beginning of March and rush through Pisces season and miss what it can give to you. Because when we roll into the end of March and we hit Aries season, it's all about new birth, new beginnings. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this is the spring equinox, and so this is the new life budding. Your birthdays, Aries season is all about new life. That new life gets to blossom, but new life is that birthing is the tangible creation into reality of that which used to only be a thought, that which used to only be a dream. And so if you skip the stage of dreaming, and if you skip the stage of imagining what could be possible and thinking about what isn't real right now, but what you might like to make real, if you skip that stage, then you're going to have nothing to birth. Like you're going to like just trying to jump straight into, I just want to make it happen. Well, I'm like, what happened? What are you really actually connected to your vision? Are you connected to your dreams? That we've been kind of following the story in the energetic year where we've had kind of times of trials and testing. We had things that brought into illumination what our values are. We worked hard in our goal setting in Capricorn season, and then in Aquarius, we've just been looking at our vision really. And Pisces season has now been this opportunity to dream and to really think, okay, and expand. We've connected our values and our vision, and now we really want to look at what is the next thing that could be possible? What's the next new adventure that we get to start Aries season with in March, or end of March? And so we really want to lean into this stage of visioning so that now we can birth this new year, this new cycle that can do okay. The new thing gets to happen, and then we get to start over this whole cycle of growing this new vision in from this little infantile experience into whatever is going to come happen into this next year. So this theme in this card of birthing, of a second birth being a deliberate birth, where we've all had our baby squalling poopy diaper years already. And so now any of these further births are kind of like what we've just seasonally we've been talking about, is this going from the vision and dream stage into the conduit of now birthing a new life. That we can do all the time in different ways. We do it with projects, we do it with relationships, we do it with all kinds of things where we dream and we work and we vision and we create something new. And that's a chosen action instead of the first birth we had. So this card is all about coming into this second birth. This card in particular is significantly more of a spiritual, yes, but like this second birth of your own birth. Like, yes, there's the more kind of practical, mundane things like a new job, new relationship, that are kind of tertiary to what this card is talking about. Considering this is a major arcana card, these cards are always like large, bigger, sweeping energies. So whether this is an energy that's present in your life, but over time, and it's going to be lasting and fulfilling itself for quite a while, or whether this is a card that's actually a collective energy. A lot of this is going to be collective energy because, like I said, this is the March season, is this new birth. But for you, this energy is going to be like extra present and potent, or rather you have a particular access to hop on this energy in a way that other people don't, just because this is your sign, this is your energy. You and Pisces are gonna like be quite potent this month because this is your time. So this is a great like way to really, I don't want to say not stop, but like a lot of Aries energy is like chomping at the bit, the sign of the ram, just like point me forward and I'm going to head towards my dreams. And you're so close to that being your season. End of March, the end of this month, you're going to get to punch your way out of the gate into the new year. But right now at Pisces, there's just this wait, the gate's still closed, this like keep dreaming, keep thinking, just hold on. I know you want to run. You're so close. But we really want to think here. This second birth is a deliberate choosing of your own life path. This is a deliberate thing. It's not just the automatic, the gunfire, then you run and you don't think about it. This is kind of like, if we're going with this race thing, this is right before you're waiting for the gun to start. And this is you kind of coaching yourself through your game face. Like, yeah, like what is it? Why are you running this race? Like what's the goal that you're gonna get at the end of this prize? Like, why are you doing this? Who are you doing this for? Who do you want to be by the end of this? Who have you already been, like, how have you already changed preparing for this race? And that this is that kind of hype up moment where it's just you in the box or at the starting line, whether you're a horse racing or a person racing. I seem to be mixing this metaphor up. Whatever that is, this is just you and your dreams. And then as soon as we hit equinox, that's when the bullet goes and the gate opens and you're a horse and a person running down the track, full Aries season. And then it's less thinking, then it's in action, and then it's that actual creation stage. So March, this is going to be a really interesting period. Like I said, it's going to feel a little hazy at first, a little like you're unsure what's happening, but there's also this anticipation, this new life, this potential that's about to happen. And then at equinox, it's gonna go forward. You're gonna feel that fire. You're gonna feel that rush. You're gonna have some of your birthdays, and it's all gonna be it's gonna be going there. So this is a really, like, I'm pumped for you. I'm getting really excited just at that feeling, that anticipation, that moment. Like, that's kind of a lot of the time that it's less the doing that gets you jazzed, and it's that micro timeless moment of anticipation of the ending and the beginning of something else. So before I get all distracted here, is there anything else I wanted to bring up here specifically from this card? Yeah, so like I said, here, the second birth is possible only as a result of a process of becoming. So remember that we live our lives in these cycles, and so every stage that we're in is, we are connected to the process of how we got there. So our past the trials and joys that we've had that brought us to this moment. We're also part of the larger process of becoming that is our ancestry, our own lineage of our parents, our grandparents, and our ancestors. And that way we are a process of becoming of the community, country, and people that we live in, the process of becoming with the kind of our global stories that we're enacting out, of trying to achieve enlightenment or deal with inherent violence, like all of these large cycles. There's kind of like these spirals. There's our little process, there's our family's process, our lineage process, our country's process, this whole human experience process. And you can like really just see that, even thinking this card of the sun, even though yes, we see the sun go around us, really all of us in the planets and in our solar system, we're all orbiting the sun. And so seeing that as a spiral, like as the spirals of all of the planets moving around the sun and the cosmos, as these processes of becoming that we have and we exist in our community, it's all process of all of these spirals, and we're all connected to the past and the present, and the future in this present moment. So that is a really important thing to hold on to, even just to like understand the significance and the gravity of all of your present moments as being a culmination of this process, and as being a part of this ongoing, this future process that you're a part of. It can really help just put just gravity to the situation of when you're stressed that you can't figure these things out. It's a big process. Like don't ever underestimate both the importance of the things that you're accomplishing as being part of this process, and the difficulty of the things you're trying to overcome. Like all of the things that we struggle with have roots in this process beyond us, before us, and all of the things that we are accomplishing are also going to ripple out in time in the process ahead of us. So it's no big deal. It's just the whole big sum total of existence, and that we're experiencing here. So that's all good and fine. So keep that in mind in this month. So in that case, I guess that'll touch up on the last thing, is just the colors of this card, which is, for the sun card, this is pretty dark. It hints to different trials and tribulations that on the road to the sun, on the road to enlightenment and your own personal like second birthing of who you want to be deliberately, that is not all like radiant sunshine and roses. Part of this process, part of our nature as cyclical beings in the spiraling universe, is that the bad times are also there present, and they're not to be rushed through, they're not to be ignored, they're not to be belittled or gaslit. They are just as much a part of this as the joyful feeling of enlightenment. The getting to enlightenment is often quite uncomfortable and dark. So you may be finding some of that this month as well, that even in that anticipation of excitement to start the next year, starting with Aries season and get that fire energy again, it may feel kind of heavier. That there's, whether in your personal life or globally right now, can be a lot of heavy, dark things. And that is to be a part of it, to be integrated, to be acknowledged, to be grieved. All of those things are possible and important. So just don't expect it to all be delightful. But I do hope your birthday is all delightful in the context of this full, robust life that has its darkness and its lights as well. So I think I'm going to have to stop there, because I'm going to keep going, because this card's really exciting. So I'm just going to leave it with that. I am just going to let you know that for the March equinox, rolling into Aries season, I'm going to be hosting my first Aries season Pay What You Can workshop. So we're going to be doing some tarot and astrology for the whole Aries season itself. So it'll be different than these individual tarot horoscopes. It'll be for the collective as well, and that's going to be a Pay What You Can option. It's going to be hosted on this on the YouTube site here as well. So keep that in mind as you're rolling up towards equinox. And other than that, again, happy early birthday, Aries, and best of luck. Bye-bye.